Happy Birthday to You by Dr. Seuss. And if you'd like to buy the book, check in the link description down below. I wish we could do what they do in Katroo. They sure know how to say happy birthday to you. In Katroo every year on the day you were born, they start the day right in the bright early morn. When the birthday honker hikes high up Mountain Zorn and lets loose a big blast on the big birthday horn. And the voice of the horn calls out loud as it plays, "Wake up, for today is your day of all days." Then, the moment the horn, happy honk honk, is heard, comes a fluttering flap flap, and then comes the bird. The great birthday bird. And so far as I know, Katroo is the only place birthday birds grow. This bird has a brain. He's most beautifully brained, with the brainiest bird brain that's ever been trained. He was trained by the most splendid club in this nation, in the Katroo Happy Birthday Association. And wherever your name is Pete, Polly or Paul, when your birthday comes around, he's in charge of it all. Whenever your name is Nate, Nellie or Ned, he knows your address and he heads for your bed. You heard a soft swoosh in the brightening sky. You are not all awake, but you open one eye. Then over the housetops and trees of Katroo, you see that bird coming to you, just to you. The bird pops right in. You are up on your feet, you jump to the window, you meet and you greet with the secret Katroo birthday high sign and shake that only good people with birthdays may make. You do it just so with each finger and toe. Then the bird says, "Come on, brush your teeth and let's go. It's your day of all days, it's the best of the best. So don't waste a minute, hop to it, get dressed." And 5 minutes later, you're having a snack, on your way out of town on a smorgasbord's back. "Today," laughs the bird, "eat whatever you want. Today no one tells you you can't or you shan't. And today you don't have to be tidy or neat. If you wish, you may eat with both hands and both feet. So get in there and munch, have a big muncharoo. Today is your birthday, today you are you." If we didn't have birthdays, you wouldn't be you. If you'd never be born, well then what would you do? If you'd never be born, well then what would you be? You might be a fish or a toad in a tree. You might be a doorknob or 3 baked potatoes. You might be a bag full of hard green tomatoes. Or worse than all that, why you might be a wasn't. A wasn't has no fun at all. No, he doesn't. A wasn't just isn't. He just isn't present. But you are you. And now, isn't that pleasant? So we'll go to the top of the toppest blue space, the official Katroo birthday sounding off place. Come on, open your mouth and sound off at the sky. Shout loud at the top of your voice, "I am I." Me, I am I, and I may know why, but I know that I like it. 3 cheers, I am I. And now on this day of all days in Katroo, the Association has built just for you a railway with very particular boats that are pulled through the air by functional goats. These goats never slip, never trip, never bungle. They'll take us down fast to the birthday flower jungle. The best sniffing flowers that anyone grows. We have grown to be sniffed by your own private nose. They smell like licorice and cheese. Send 40 hubbubs up the trees to snip with their snippers, nip with their nippers, clip and clop with clapping clippers. Nip and snip with clipping cloppers, snip and snop with snipping snoppers. All for you, the hubbubs clip. Happy birthday, Nop and Nip. Then pile the wondrous smelling stacks on 50 hippopotamus backs. They'll take those flowers all home for you. You can keep the hippopotamus too. While this is done, I've got a hunch. It's time to eat our birthday lunch. For birthday lunches as a rule, we serve hot dogs rolled on a spool. So stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. And stuff until you've had enough. Now, of course, we're all mustard. So one of the rules is to wash it all off in the mustard of pools, which are very fine, warm water mountaintops tubs, which were built just for this by the mustard of clubs. Then, out of the water, sing loud while you dry. Sing loud, I am lucky. Sing loud, I am I. If you'd never be born, then this might be isn't. And isn't is not fun at all. No, he didn't. He never had birthdays, and this isn't pleasant. You have been born, or you don't get a present. A present? Aha! Now what kind shall I give? Why, the kind you'll remember as long as you live. Would you like a fine pet? Well, that's what you'll get. I'll get you the fanciest pet ever yet. As you see, we have here, in the heart of our nation, the official Katroo birthday pet reservation. From the east of the Easters to the west of the Westers, we have searched the whole world just to bring you the bestest. They'll come in all sizes, small, medium, tall. If you wish, I will find you the tallest of all. To find who's the tallest, we'll start with the smallest. We start with the smallest. Then what do? We line them all up back to back, 2 by 2, taller and taller. And when we are through, we finally find one who's taller than whom. But you have to be smart and keep watching their feet, because sometimes they stand on their tiptoes and cheat. And so, from the smaller, we stack them up taller, and taller and taller and taller and taller, and now, here's the one who is taller than all are. He's yours, he's all yours. He's the very top tallest. I know you'll enjoy him, the tallest of allest. You'll have him shipped home to you, Birthday Express. That costs quite a lot, but I couldn't care less. Today is your birthday, today you are you. So what if it cost me 1,000 or 2? Today is your birthday. You get what you wish. You also might like a nice time-telling fish. So I'll send Diver Gets, and I'll send Diver Gets, deep under the sea in the undersea kits. In all the wide world, there are no better pets than the time-telling fish that gets and gets. But speaking of time, why good gracious alive, that the time-telling fish says it's 4:45. I had no idea it was getting so late. We have to get going, we have a big date. And so as the sunset burns red in the west, comes the night of the day of the best, the night of all nights in Katroo. So according to rule, what we usually do is saddle up 2 hooded cloppers, name Alice and gallop like mad to the birthday pal Alice. Your big birthday party soon starts to begin in the finest palace you've ever been in. Now this birthday palace, as soon as you will see, has exactly 9,403 rooms to play games in, 12 halls for brass bands, not counting the 53 hamburger stands. And besides all of that, there are 65 rooms just for keeping the sweeping up afterward brooms. Because after your party, as well you may guess, it will take 20 days just to sweep up the mess. First we greeted by drummers who drum as they come, and next the strummers who strum as they come, and for the drummers who drum as the strummers who strummer followed summers who come as they zum. Just look at those summers, they're sort of like plumbers. They come along humming with their heads in the plumbing, and that makes the music summers call zumming. And all of this beautiful zumming and humming, and plumbing and strumming and drumming and coming, all of it, all is for you. Look! They're daring singer hearings, daring singing spelling hearings. See what daring hearing do. They sing and spell it all for you. And here comes your cake, cooked by Snookers, and Snookers, the official Katroo happy birthday cake cookies. And Snookers, I'm happy to say, are the only cake cookers who cook cakes today, made of guaranteed certified strictly grade A. Peppermint, cucumber, sausage, paste, butter, and the world's finest cake slices, dutter and dutter with hatches aflutter. High up on a poop deck, stand ready to cut her. Today, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Shout loud, I am lucky to be what I am. Thank goodness I am not just a clam or a ham, or a dusty old jar of sour gooseberry jam. I am what I am, that's a great thing to be. If I say so myself, happy birthday to me. Now by horseback and birdback, and heiferback too, come your friends, all your friends from all over Katroo. And the birthday palace heats up with hot friends, and your party goes on and on till it ends. When it ends, you're much happier, richer and fatter. And the bird flies you home on a very soft platter. So that's what the birthday bird does in Katroo. And I wish I could do all these great things for you. The end.
Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows, is a street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could. Before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old once still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the once-ler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurking on top of his store. He lurks in his lurking cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffed moof. and on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. At the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his grovulous glove. Then he grunts, "I will call you my whisper phone for the secrets I tell you, or for your ears alone." Slap. Down slips the whisper-phone into your ear, and the old ones where whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snuggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. "Now I'll tell you," says his teeth sounding grey, "how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back. Such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the ponds were still wet, and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swirly swans ran out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and first I saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored chuffs on the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of humming fish humming or splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I'd be searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts were much softer than silk, and they had a sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping in joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. I had no time at all. I built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skills and of great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and knitted a need. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. "Mister," he said with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset, and he shouted and puffed, "What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft?" Look, Lorax, I said. There's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. A need is find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers, for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that filth need. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just that minute, a chap came along. And he thought that the Thneed had his knitting was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. Poor stupid guy. You can never tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone and I put it a quick call. I called my brothers, my uncle and aunt. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Sneetches, turn left at Weak Haven, shop right up South Stitch. And in no time at all, in a factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting Thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hack, which whacked 4 truffula trees out one smacker. We were making Thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked at my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem like to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown Barbaloots, who play in the shade in their Barbaloot suits, and they happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking into my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round, and my poor Barbaloots are getting their crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I mean no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads. Of the Sneetches I shipped out, I was shipping them forth. To the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snuggled, he sniffed. Once-ler, he cried with a crudulous croak. Once-ler, you're making such smuggle smoke. My poor swan, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smoke in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please, pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They might have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smoke you've smogged up around here. What's more? Snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery tugs on day and night without start, making gluppity-glup and also sloppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old once-ler man, you. You glumping the pond when the humming fish hummed. No more they hum, for their gills are all gummed. I'm sending them off, oh their future is deary. They'll walk on their fins and woeful weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I am telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on bigger and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffy-legged trees into finnees, which everyone needs. At that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of an axe of a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffy-legged tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved to me goodbye. They jumped into their cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggled stars. Now all that was left near the bed-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance. And he's lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he histed himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. and all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the word unless. Whatever that means, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, said the Onslaught, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems pretty clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onslaught. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And the truffula seeds are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it cleaner water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
The Sneetches by Dr. Seuss. Now the Star-Bellies Sneetches had bellies with stars. The Plain-Bellies Sneetches had none upon stars. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the Star-Bellies Sneetches would brag. We're the best kind of Sneetches on the beaches. With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. We have nothing to do with the Plain-Bellies sort. And when they met some and they were out walking, they'd hike right past them without even talking. When the Star-Bellied children went out to play ball, could a Plain-Belly get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the Plain-Bellied children had none upon theirs. When the Star-Bellies Sneetches had frankfurters roast, or picnics or parties, or marshmallow toast, they never invited the Plain-Bellies Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then, one day it seems, while the Plain-Bellies Sneetches were mopping and dopping alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars.
My friend, he announced in a voice clear and keen, my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean. And I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy. But I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need. And my prices are low. And my work is at great speed. And my work is 100% guaranteed.
Then quickly, Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine. And then he said, you want stars like a Star-Bellies Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each.
Just pay me your money and hop right aboard.
So they clambered inside, and the big machine roared. And it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them out. But the thing really worked. When the Plain-Bellies Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon stars. And they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all the same now, you snooty old smarties. Now we can go to your Frankfurter parties. Good grief, groaned the ones who had stars at the first. We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst. But now, how in the world will we know? They all frowned. If which kind is what, or the other way round? Then came McBean, with a very sly wink, and he said,
Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who? That's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetches on beaches, and it will only cost you. It's $10 eaches. Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip to my star-off machine. This wonderful contraption can take off your stars, so you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs.
and that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, and they let out a shout.
We know who is who. Now there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without.
Then, of course, those with stars got all frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of that day, on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced around about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through, until neither the Plain nor the Star-Bellies knew. Wherever this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They will never learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. That day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day, all the Sneetches forgot about stars, and whenever they had one or not upon theirs. Horton, Here's a Who by Dr. Seuss. On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Nool, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool. He was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joy, when Horton the elephant hears a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked towards a sound.
That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around.
Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help.
I'll help you, said Horton. But who are you? Where?
He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there, but just a small speck of dust blowing past through the air.
I say, murmured Horton, I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So, you know what I think? Why, I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll be blown in a pool he has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him, because after all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
So gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air. And he lifted the dust speck and carried it over, and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. Humphed a voice. 'Twas a sound kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Hump," too.
Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there has never been.
Believe me, said Horton, I'll tell you sincerely. My ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's two, even three, even four. Quite likely a family, for all that we know. A family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them. Just please let them be.
I think you're a fool,
laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in the pouch said,
Me too. You're the biggest blamed fool in the jungle of Nool.
And the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool.
What terrible splashing!
The elephant frowned.
I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they.
So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread.
He talks to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower.
And Horton walked worrying almost an hour.
Should I put this speck down?
Horton thought with alarm.
If I do, these small persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could barely hear it.
Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it.
My friend, came the voice. You're a very fine friend. You've helped us all folk of this dustbag no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved our churches and our grocery stores.
You mean? Horton gasped. You have buildings there too?
Oh yes, piped the voice. We most certainly do. I know, called the voice. I'm too small to be seen, but I'm the mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they're wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you.
And Horton called back to the mayor of the town, You're safe now, don't worry. I won't let you down. But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting,
What rot! This elephant's talking to Whos who are not. There aren't any Whos and they don't have a mayor. And we're going to stop all this nonsense, so there.
He snatched Horton's clover and carried it off to a black-bombed eagle named Vlad Ikov, a mighty strong eagle of very swift wing, and they said,
Will you kindly get rid of this thing?
And before the poor elephant even could speak, that eagle flew off with a flower in his beak. All that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in first flight, while Horton chased after groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, Please don't harm all my little folks. You have much right to live as us bigger folks do. But far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulders kept back,
Quit your yapping! I fly through the night through, and I'm a bird. I don't mind it. I'll hide this tomorrow, why you'll never find it.
And 6:56 the next morning he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He let that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide.
Fine that,
Sneezed the bird,
but I think you'll fail.
and he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. I'll find it, cried Horton. I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on that small speck of dust. Clover by clover with care, he picked up, searched them, and called, Are you there? But clover by clover he found the one that he sought for was just not around. And noon, poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Then, on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last on the 3 millionth flower. My friends, cried the elephant, tell me, do tell, are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?
From down of the speck came the voice of the mare.
We've really had trouble, much more than our share. When the black-bottomed birdie let go undropped, we landed so hard that our clocks have stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chair smashed, and our bicycle tires all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please,
Pleaded that voice of the mare.
will you stick by us who's while we're making repairs?
Of course,
Horton answered.
of course I will stick. I'll stick by you small folks through thin and through thick.
Humphed the voice.
For almost 2 days, we've run wild and unstinted, or chatted with persons who've never existed. Such carrying on in our peaceable jungle, we've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state,
Snapped the big kangaroo.
that your silly nonsensical game is all through.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me too. With the help of Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. As for your dust speck, that shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of hazelnut oil.
Boil it?
gasped Horton.
Oh, that you can't do. It's a full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Horton called.
Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting, get everyone out, make every who howler, make every who shout, make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in beetle-nut stew.
We are here!
And down from the dust speck, the scared little mare
We are here!
called a big meeting in the Hoover town square.
We are
And these
here!
people cried loudly. They cried out in fear.
We are here! We are here! We are here! We are here!
The elephant smiled.
That was clear as a bell. The kangaroo surely heard that very well.
All I heard
Snapped the big kangaroo.
was a breeze and the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me neither. Grab him!
they shouted.
And cage the big goat. Lasso his stomach, 10 miles of rope. Tie the knot so tight he'll never shake loose. Then dunk that speck in the hazelnut juice.
Horton fought back with great vigour and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him, they mauled him, they started to howl him into the cage, but he managed to call the mare.
Don't give up, I believe in you all. A person's a person, no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves hid. So come on now and try.
The mare grabbed a tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Hoover they hooped up a racket.
They rattled tin kettles, they beat on brass pans, on garbage pan tops, and on cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots, on clarinets, oompas and boompas and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket ragged high through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky, and the mayor called up through the howling mad hullabaloo.
Hey Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through?
And Horton called back, I can hear you just fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't quite strong quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best? Are all making noise? Are you sure every hoover down in Hoover is working? Quick, look through the town. Is anyone shirking? Through the town rushed the mayor, from the east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing their best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough. All his ruckus and roar, he had to find someone who helped to make more. He raced through each building, he searched floor to floor. And he just felt like he was getting nowhere and almost about to give in, disappear, and suddenly burst through a door and that mare. A very small shirker named Jojo was just standing and bouncing a yo-yo. Not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. And the mare rushed inside and grabbed the young twerp. And he climbed with the lad, Eiffelberg Tower.
This,
cried the mare,
is the town's darkest hour. This is for all who have blood that is red to come to the aid of the country, he said. We've got to make the noises in greater amounts. So open your mouth, lad, for every voice counts.
Thus he spoke as he climbed. When they got to the top, the lad cleared his throat and he shouted out,
Yup!
Yup!
And that yop, that one small extra yop put it over. Finally, at last, from that speck on that clover. Their voices were heard. They rang out and clear, and the elephant smiled. Do you see what I mean? They're proved. They are persons, no matter how small. The whole world was saved by the smallest of all.
How true! Yes, how true,
said the big kangaroo.
And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me too. From sun in the summer, from rain when it's fallish. I'm going to protect them, no matter how smallish.